let's talk about what white privilege really is. First off, white privilege is not monetary gain. The reason why you don't have money and you're white is because your parents, your grandparents, etc. were shit parents. They didn't put the work in to build you generational wealth. The difference is the black people's great grandparents did not have the opportunity to build generational wealth. As a matter of fact, their grandparents, due to redlining, Contra, all these other things that were put in place, Jim Crow, etc., also didn't have the money to get generational wealth. Because if they bought a property in a certain area, they were only allowed to buy properties in certain areas. That's what redlining is. So a black person will buy a property in an area where the property value declines over time or barely goes up. Meanwhile, white people can buy property in great areas where the value is going up. So the property that their great-grandparents bought, because their great-great-grandparents didn't even have the opportunity to buy property at all, slavery and all these other things, but the property that maybe their great-grandparents or grandparents bought for $30,000 is worth 80 grand now, maybe 100. Meanwhile, the property that the white family bought in a better neighborhood in a nicer area where black people were not allowed to buy, that they bought for 30 grand is worth $400,000, $500,000 now. See, this is how generational wealth works, and that's part of white privilege. White privilege is if I get pulled over by the police, and it's happened before many times, I have 4 felonies. Robbery, burglary, assault, firearm possession, all types of crimes. I get pulled over by the police and they treat me regularly. Well, until they pull my name. If they pull my name, they're coming with their hand on their gun. But they treat me normally. They pull over a black guy who's got muscles like I have muscles and is as big as I am. They automatically put their hand on their gun, get nervous and scared. And I've seen it happen. I have a friend of mine who, he's about 6'2". He's about 300 pounds. He's black with braids. Never been in trouble. The only thing he's ever been arrested for was like a marijuana possession or something. Dude's never done more than an overnight in county jail. Takes care of his kids, works jobs and everything his whole life that I've known him. And when the cops pulled us over, me, the felon, zero hostility, major hostility to him the whole time, to where I had to intervene, where I'm like, yo, tell your partner to relax. Dude had his hand on his gun. I'm trying to go home to my family tonight. Looking at my homeboy, never been in trouble. Mind you, I'm the criminal. That's how white privilege works. White privilege is I can walk through any town in America, even though I'm mixed, I can pass as white. I can walk through any town in America and nobody's gonna bother me because I have white privilege. Meanwhile, if black people walk through specific towns in America, they're gonna get called racist names, they're gonna get harassed, etc. Now I know there's gonna be a white person like, oh, well, I can't walk through the hood. That's because they're poor. It's not because you're white. It's because they're gonna try to rob you because they don't have any money. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It has to do with you look like you got some money and you're not from here, so you look like a victim. It's not racially motivated. They're not attacking you because you're white. See, those black people in those neighborhoods are being attacked just based on the color of their skin. And that's how white privilege works. If I go to court, as I said, I got 4 felonies, I only did 10 years in prison. If I was black, I'd still be in prison. And I've seen it many times, guys who had the same crimes as me, guys who had the same charges as me, who were doing double the time as me. And this has been proven time and time again, judges giving more time to people of color. Even within the prison system, there are COs that are blatantly and openly racist against black people or Hispanics or different groups of people based on who that CO is or what his feelings are, etc. Same thing with the police department, does not deal with people the same. Now I saw a guy made a video, he said, oh, well, when I get pulled over by the police, I'm just respectable. A lot of people are respectable. A lot of people are respectable and still get shot. Matter of fact, that cop in Texas walked in a man's house and shot him while he was eating cereal in his kitchen. And her excuse was she was tired from work and thought she was in her own house. He didn't have no weapon on him or nothing. He didn't attack her. He was just sitting there eating cereal. She shot him. She only got 10 years in prison. You think if she would have walked into a mansion and shot some rich white guy, that she'd be doing the same time? See, it is about economics a lot of times with how much time you get. Yeah, a rich white person's going to get a lot less time and be treated a lot more differently than a poor white person. I agree. But that poor white person is still going to have advantages over that poor black person. Now people go to say, oh, well, people get free college, and they get, yeah, because they're behind. Black people get free college and these free things that go by minority hiring, minority jobs, etc. They get these things because generational wealth has not been built, because the government had been caught providing narcotics to people of color. They were caught. The CIA was caught bringing drugs to minority communities so they could fund another war among people of color in South America. Google it. Contra. It's been proven. Documentation. CIA brought drugs to destroy communities of people of color. FBI, also proven. FOIL, Freedom of Information Law. You can look all this up. The FBI purposely targeted black leaders to take down black leadership so that black people could not build a strong leadership within the community. The difference between the 1960s, when the Black Panther Party was prominent, in the late 50s, into the gang representation that came in the mid 60s, is night and fucking day. The murders that went up, the communities that fell apart because of the drugs being brought in through Contra, because of the black leadership being taken down, because of redlining, because of all these things, had a direct effect on the black community. So the black community that exists now is already starting this race behind the white community. The Hispanic community, same thing. Starting this race behind the white community, maybe a little bit ahead of the black community, depending on how dark that Hispanic person is. I'm a Hispanic person, and like I said, I can pass for white, so I can pull a lot of shit off that my father couldn't, who's 10 shades darker than me. So it is what it is. But that's how white privilege works. White privilege doesn't mean that you're gonna have money. You don't have money because your parents did a bad job on providing generational wealth for you. It's nothing to do with the color of your skin. Black people were not given that opportunity. That is the difference. Police do not treat you the same that they treat black people. And if you believe that, you're on drugs, because the statistics do not agree with you. If you think white people get the same amount of time that black people get within the criminal justice system, you're only lying to yourself. The statistics disagree with you. You look at two cases, same representation, same criminal history, the white person's always going to get less time than the black person. That is the reality of the situation. Banks were not giving loans to black people, housing, etc. They were targeted by the United States government, and this has been proven, and the information is right online for you to Google. So yeah, you got white privilege. It's probably not going to make you rich today or tomorrow, but you're definitely going to be treated different based upon that, because our criminal justice system, our law enforcement departments, and our government as a whole was built around white supremacy. So if you believe that you don't have white privilege because you don't have no money, then not only are you dumb, but you don't listen. Because I just made an 8-minute video explaining to you why you have it. You're broke because your parents suck at making generational wealth for you.